So this morning I'm in San Diego at Kimball Skate Park, which is this really interesting little park. It's not the biggest, but it's actually in two separate segments. There's this smaller plaza area with some smaller street plaza style features. Then there's this little middle run here with a P-rail and some flat ledges, and then a larger plaza style area to practice some bigger tricks on the other side. Really cool little park. It's a nice way to use like a kind of unused space behind a baseball field here. And they managed to squeeze everything you could want into a small area. So gonna get warmed up here and then try to do 10 tricks that they're just so hot right now. Skating goes through different trends, whether that is, doing drop rails and hammers or grinding curbs with your friends, different music choices and edits, style in general, or, pants. We cannot seem to stop talking about pants in this sport. I don't know, but I've been getting more into skating again, and I'm looking around noticing a lot of specific tricks that are trending right now.
First up, the newest trick on this list, as far as I'm aware, I believe we're calling them glides. It was Michael Kraft, as far as I know, is the one who created and introduced them. If you're not following him, at Elfie with Wispies on Instagram, just phenomenal skater. This is a terrifying and unique trick. The first couple times you do it, it is just so scary. The skateboarder who was at the park with me, the first couple times I did it, mentioned like how terrifying it must be to just jam your toes into that 90-degree angle between, where the ledge goes up and the ground, and just kind of trust that it's gonna slide. There's a lot of potential with these tricks. Actually, Michael Kraft, Colin Kelso, among others, in Zephyr 4, I believe, we're playing around with ideas, whether it's, dragging one foot down, whatever. There's been other iterations of this in the past where you kind of set slide into that same gap and then move up to grinds, but it's similar, but you are sliding sideways on the wheels. I definitely think it's here to stay, but I don't know how widely it'll be used because it's, again, it's just scary to do, and it's gonna cover your wheels in wax. Definitely excited to see the possibilities of this be opened up. I don't know how much I'm gonna keep doing it. I think once or twice is gonna be enough for me, but super cool trick. Definitely happy to knock this one off the list. Okay, next up, I believe we're calling it the glitch. I'm sure you guys have seen it. It's been all over social media lately, where you kind of do a soul grind over the ground and it looks like a magnet is pulling you into the obstacle. I actually remember seeing this done by Colin Martin, but I saw him do it in like a Vim edit or a story, and it just kind of like went under the radar. And a couple months ago, he did another one, and now it like took off like wildfire. I've been seeing it all over the place. It's really hard to get it right and really sell that illusion of having the magnet like pull you in and not just kind of sloppy sideways feet dragging all along. Definitely here to stay as long as, at least as long as curb skating sticks around. If we go in another wave of hammer skating, it's definitely gone. This is definitely one I'm looking forward to exploring more, getting better at, because it is unique to skating. I don't really see a way you can do this in other sports, and I love tricks like that that are very rollerblading specific, and it just draws your attention to it. I think a lot of other people feel that way too, so it's having a bit of a moment right now. I think that's gonna calm down, but it's here to stay, and I'm happy about that because, again, it's just unique to skating. All right, let's talk about toe rolls and heel rolls, especially nowadays, seeing people doing like double toe, double heel, which was always like totally unacceptable It is a child's trick to do when you first get skates, especially like a toe and a heel. I know Brosco did one in like Fish Guys 2 or something, just playing around, but now like via wizard skating and the long frames, there seems to be an influence from freestyle skiing that came in. You can do double toe or double heel rolls as long as your feet stay together. If you start staggering it, that's when it gets into that childish like fooling around deal. But if you keep your feet together, it's actually way harder than you might think. At least it was for me. I fell like on my face trying to do these fakie. And I was definitely like on the fence about these when people first started doing them. I thought, you know, 2 feet, it's way too easy. I can get on board with a single toe or heel roll because it's hard. Those are just hard. But definitely with the 2-footed toe and heel rolls, I've come around on it. Now it's like, it's kind of cool, almost like how skiers do like presses and butters. I don't know, it's cool. It's a good way to tie stuff together. And that's another reason I really like single toe or heel rolls. I know a lot of people from older generations don't like them, but I've always thought it was kind of cool to have like a manual style trick. It seems like they're just like here to stay. It's part of everyone's repertoire, or at least it should be. They're just cool now. Okay, the next one, I don't know what to call it. It's not a cess slide. I would call it a scrape. I see people calling these cess slides, but in my opinion, if you have wheels rolling on the ground, it's not a cess slide. I still think these can be very cool. Again, to bring up Colin Martin, I forget the name of the edit. Was it 25 cents or something? But that was the first time I saw it, exiting like coping grinds and continuing that motion down the coping. I think these are really cool when it is either leading into like telegraphing a trick that's about to happen or continuing a trick after the obstacle. What I don't like, the grumpy old man in me, is just doing them for no reason across a flat surface, like dragging a porn star across something. It's just not me. I think that's gonna fade away. But the general idea of getting into a foot position early or holding it after a trick is really cool. And that one's definitely gonna stick around. All right, the next one I definitely didn't expect. This one kind of came out of left field, but camel toes and Melvins. Like, this is old school vert skating, super cool. And then Chris Edwards came back into skating, so like they were more in the conversation again because he's phenomenal at them. But then Stefan Brando goes and starts doing them off of drop ledges, just doing camel toes out of grinds, and like now they're here. That's a thing that we do again. Highly recommend trying these. I had a session in San Francisco sometime last summer, man, maybe almost a year ago. And we spent like 25, 30 minutes just doing camel toes over transitions, and it was super fun. It's a really cool trick. I've seen a lot of cool combinations. I should work on these more. I really like these tricks, so I hope this is here to stay. All right, so wheel slides or butters or whatever you want to call it. I'm a huge fan of these because it touches back to having basic skating skills. I really enjoy watching skaters who are good at skating first. And you have to have those skills mastered in order to make this look good in aggressive skating. But I think these wheel slides into and out of grinds is just so playful and like exciting to watch. Watching people master this now, like it's Victoria Soderholm. Sorry, I'm probably butchering your name, but she is just absolutely killing it lately. I should do it more. I don't know why, but maybe I'll start doing these more because they just have a way of taking like a simple clip and making it be so much more. Okay, next up, cross-legged landers and cross-leg approach tricks. I believe it's Jeremy Bambury made a prediction earlier this year that was going to be the trend for the year. And I don't know that he was wrong. See all kinds of people doing them. Don Bruce is really the person that like I first saw doing these for real. And doing like cross-leg double heel rolls and stuff. He's just operating on a different level these days, but like I know Witzman's doing it. Again, sorry if I butchered your name, man. Colin Kelso's been doing these a bunch. They're really cool. I'm terrible at them. I don't know that I'm gonna practice them. I don't know that I need them in my skating, but they definitely can be cool. maybe I haven't thought about them enough to like, you really have to plan the trick like all the way through the exit and keep your motion continuous. That way it's kind of flowy, but my brain hasn't quite wrapped around it yet. Definitely excited to see more people working on these types of tricks, but I don't know how long they're really gonna stick around and be like so prominent like they are right now. All right, next up, I don't know what you call them, but the step down switch up, which I dig them. First person I saw make these look good was actually big homie Biz. Got to shout him out, because this trick is like rollerblading in general. It is very difficult to make look good and incredibly easy to make look bad. So you need to think through the switch up you're gonna do and make sure that the tricks are complementary, which I love. I've never been a person to just do switch ups for the sake of doing switch ups. I'm not running up the Tony Hawk point meter and just like switching and getting multipliers, you know? I really like when tricks are complementary, and this kind of forces that. Otherwise, you are just missing a trick, stepping on the ground, and then stepping up into the next grind. So these are super cool when done well. I don't know that they'll get super popular just because it is questionable to put a foot down on the ground, but I dig them. Cool trick, hope it sticks around. Okay, next we have, again, I don't know what to call these tricks. What even are the names of rollerblading tricks? I'm just gonna call it the foot dip. The thing where you do a torque or a backslide and you kind of like, your free foot, you dip it on either side of the rail. I'm all for it. I love this. I think it's a perfect argument for why you don't need to grab grinds necessarily. There's a time and a place. You know, if you're doing a big backslide down a down rail, grab that thing, man. It looks great. Not grabbing allows you to get into different body positions and really do the trick the way you want to do. And, you know, move your foot around, show control, which this, you have to absolutely have control of the trick in order to be able to do this. I think the straight up just like dip left, right is gonna get played out fairly quickly, but I think there's enough people out there who are much more creative than myself that are just gonna take this to new heights, and this general principle, the idea behind it, is definitely here to stay. I'm all for it. I'm team no grab. Don't at me. Okay, and finally, underbar skating. This has been around for a while. Definitely here to stay. Absolutely terrifying. I cannot do it. It's just so high risk. You are not only at risk of, you know, racking yourself, but now you've got another rail that you're sliding into. I don't know, the whole thing's wild. It's such a high risk deal. Y'all are out of your minds. I'm all for it. I love watching it. Underbar skating's definitely not going anywhere. So yeah, shout out to everyone who does it. It's really cool. It's really cool. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Oh yeah, one bonus trick, the X grind. I want to blame Duncan at Skate Club HQ. He brought up the argument of, you know, doing an X grind the right way. And since then I've been seeing tons of X grinds. I used to never ever see anyone doing that trick, and now I see people using them to tie all these tricks that I've mentioned together into one fluid movement. Something about the X grind is just complimentary, like, I don't know, the angles of it versus what you're going into or out of. Something about it, people, it's having its moment, and you love to see it, you know? The X grind never got a lot of love. That being said, I really enjoy seeing people that are tying all of these together. All so exciting to watch right now, because you never know what's coming. There's going to be a wheel slide or a crossover, some sort of cross leg deal, a sweep into a grind, and who knows, a glitch and a glide, and they're just tying everything together. It's so cool. It's a really exciting time if you like technical skating. If you're into hammers, probably not your deal, but it's so refreshing to watch people think about a trick from, you know, 20 feet before the ledge to 20 feet after it. There's stuff going on. It's so cool. Really hope that trend continues way into the future. Let me know what you guys think. Which of these tricks do you enjoy doing? Which ones do you just not want to see? Which ones do you hope just fall off and fall into the abyss and never come back? Let me know. But thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Goodbye.